Hello everybody, it is Wednesday the 10th of August. I want to follow on from my video yesterday and talk about what David Icke actually thought, or is thinking, what the trap actually is. Yeah? And what I'm saying now is just creating a different perception of what we are and what this is. And again, a perception of good and bad. Whereas what David Icke perceives as bad, as a trap, in my thinking is not bad at all. So, is my perception the only perception? No. It just gives you a way, again, it gives you a way of how you live this life, of how, what you think you're doing. Up to you, what you make of this. So yesterday I was really in a spin for a little while because for the longest part I thought, we must bring Jesus back to earth because this knowledge came from earth. It was given to us here so that it would enhance our perspective of what we are and where our limits are. And, to help us to evolve. Here. It is here that we are evolving. Up there our book is closed. Here our book opens. And we write new possibilities, new knowledge into our books while we're here. And we're each of one of us a book. So I was thinking that yesterday, and then it came to me that Wogan interview that David Icke was on, sitting there in his shell suit proclaiming he was Jesus. Actually, he was closer to the truth than he realized. In fact, he was extremely close to the truth. No, David Icke is not Jesus, obviously. It is not the man that returned to earth. It is the knowledge that came back into awareness that was suppressed for a long, long time. Yeah? I'll talk about that later. It was seemingly not in this world. So Jesus himself went to heaven, the knowledge went to heaven, which I would think he went into the Akashic records, that light, the one that David Icke perceives as a trap. And here on earth, we created, or the church created an image that would match, and that is the written knowledge, because we have two ways of keeping record. We have the physical written records, and we have the records in the Akashic records. The written records went into the vaults of the Vatican, I would think, most of it. So what is happening at the moment is the pouring out of the Spirit. It is the Spirit that is returning to earth. And what happens is, and I said that before, that I think this is a bit like a prism, the earth, where the light splits itself into many pieces. And it's poured out on all. Because different forms of that thinking and different ways of what to do with us, it are coming up all over the place. It is wokeism. It is the prosperity churches. It is the materialistic spiritualists. It is David Icke running with, I am all. So those are all different ways that we can take that knowledge, that spirit. So Jesus is here. The Spirit is being poured out. So what do you do with that? That's the question. And it's been poured out on all, but it would appear that some of us get a bit more than others. So who are those that receive the most? First of all, those that have asked a question or were in a state of questioning. Yeah? And I would say the Spirit can hit you at any time. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you can't stand on a mountain in Peru if you can afford to be there. Or it can hit you whilst you're going down the stairs of your house with a lamp full of washing. It really doesn't matter. So this is where we're at. So now I want to talk about near-death experiences and what David Icke perceives as the trap. And as I said, putting a new perspective, another explanation for what we're seeing. Yeah? And that is, there seem to be two different kinds of near-death experiences. One is going into a light where you see your family, many see their family, or others see, and David Icke said that and I've heard that before, where you go, into this kind of temple, yes, where you meet the elders, where you, where you give of your knowledge to the elders. You open your book and give the knowledge to the elders, and then the whole thing is being sifted through. And that is the kind of heaven that Jesus thought he was going to. That is very much a Jewish perception of heaven. I've heard Jewish near-death experiences that described exactly that. So, and then maybe you see according to what you think you're in. But that is, in the end, our Akashic record. That is where our spiritual being, that is the book of knowledge that had gathered knowledge here, bringing the knowledge back to the Akashic records. And from there, yes, you will return, because you have not finished writing your book. There are still questions inside of your book. Yeah, and you're coming back here to find the answers. And there is the other light. Yeah, there is the stillness, the Creator itself, because the Akashic records are still very much in the realm of form, because we perceive them as form. But there is no more form. Yeah? And yeah, there the drop becomes a part of the ocean. Yes. But you're doing the same thing again. You are bringing your knowledge to the ocean. Yeah? And then you become a part of the ocean. But there your book is closed. That's it. Your book is closed. You've given, no, I'm not saying you've given up. You should, if you know what you're doing, it is a choice. And this is a hard knock school. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But, it can be a lot easier than we're making it on ourselves. And again, it is because we are being given the perception that we're nothing. We're not even trying, because we've been given the perception that this is nothing. It's just an illusion. It is where we define the Creator into a possibility, and then find knowledge contained in that possibility. So there's the last part, and this is where you take this teaching, and Jesus was stood at that point where he says, I am all. He said that, I am all. And there you have taken all possibilities. So the drop is the ocean is no. Even in the picture that doesn't make sense. The drop is obviously not the ocean. It is a part of the ocean. But if the drop thinks itself the ocean, it has actually got nowhere to go. if you are all, you have nowhere to go apart from yourself. You are yourself. And as I said, there is no definition in that. You are undefined everything. Where do you go with that? You can't return to the ocean because you are not the ocean. You won't fit in, well, you won't even want to go into the Akashic records because you have nothing to learn, apparently. So, really, you can go nowhere with that. And here is something that now that the Spirit is pouring out back on us, where this thought is coming back to awareness, it's coming back to earth, into our awareness, into this reality. We're working with it. We are creating outcomes. But really, what does this teach us? I mean, there's something that we should incorporate into ourselves, that we should write into our books and then see ourselves according to that. And really, it is that argument, where you say, I am all. No, you are a part of all. This is where the restriction must come back in again for us to even function and for us to go on. You are a part of all, must be the perception that we have of ourselves. You are a very small book in a vast library, but you're adding to that library. I mean, even the drop in the ocean is a very small thing to add to the ocean, but it does add to the ocean. And here's the last thing I want to say, and that is, if we want to go, as people say, into this wonderful Star Trek future, where there will be others that have their own little matrices, where they gather knowledge according to themselves. And, you might be able to jump from one matrix into the other, but then just know it's not one is greater than the other or something like that. They're different. They're different. And whether the knowledge in one matrix will serve you here in this one. Again, don't go, oh, they are so much greater than us just because they are not us, because we are nothing. Let go. And there's another thing that should teach you, this teaching. Get rid of your inferiority complex, yes. But not to the point where you think you're all. So if we want to go and see others, we need a reference point. And our book is our reference point. I am. And according to that, you will see everything else. And if you are not defined, you're not going to see anything. So it is only if you are defined that you can see other definitions. One book will see another. But if you've done away with the book and saying, I am all, you see nothing. There's no definition. Well, that's my thoughts on that. So really what this, as I say, that's what that should have taught us. It's coming back to earth, it's coming to awareness, we must work with it. Yeah? What do we do with this? Here. And again, there's this misdirection that was all the time. We're talking about heaven and look out there. And if you see people like Theosophy, they are gaining an understanding of heaven. Yeah, the structured heaven. David Icke as well. He is concentrated out there, not here. But that's, as I said, we must bring Jesus. We must bring that knowledge back to earth. It was given here. It was given to the books to increase, you know, we're taking information in. It's an update. It is an update, a new perception out of which you can reach more information. And again, an update of receiving of heaven, meaning our Akashic records, that we can access that. That's a knowledge, that we can access that. But I say they're taking it too far out. They're running past the truth. You know, actually perceiving the truth as a trap and running straight past it. But that is what sheep do. You know, that is sheep behavior. Expand endlessly. Run all the way. And you're running past the truth. We must stop doing that. It's closer to earth. And the knowledge that was given was to serve us here, to help us write our books. And I say one day everything will return, the drops will return to the ocean. And the books will give of their knowledge to the entire ocean. But when that happens, you know, that's... Actually, maybe Jesus did return to the ocean rather than the Akashic records. I don't know. I mean, when that happens, you know, you don't know. You know you die here, and if you understand this, you now have two choices, and that is not one is a trap and the other is not. One means you go on writing your book before you bring the knowledge of yourself to the ocean. And you are the judge of that. Do you think your book is finished? Are you happy with what is written in there? Is that something you want to bring to the ocean? You know, that is your choice. But as I say, we need to have some understanding of what it is we're doing. And I am all is not the correct understanding. That is the one thing this teaching should have taught us. Oh, where we must, again, out of reason, create a restriction. Say, no, you're not all. You are just one book in the vast library of knowledge of creation. And you can come back, rewrite your book, or you can give your knowledge to all of creation into the ocean. And that is your choice. So those lights, they're neither good nor bad. They are our choice. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.